Okay, we're at the World Championships individual time trials with the juniors, and Jack Burke just finished and did a very nice ride.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're standing fifth overall right now, and there's only about 6 or 7 riders left.
Yeah, there's about 6 or 7 guys left to go. There's some pretty fast guys still left to go, but hopefully it'll be enough to stick with the fifth, not change up too much.
Now you really put the pedal to the metal here. They had you. They were talking large about you over the intercom. I'm sure you also. This was the one ITT that you've been going for all year.
Yeah, I spent pretty much my entire winter preparing for time trialing because I'm fairly new to road cycling. Last year was my first year at it, and so I really wanted to work on my time trialing over the winter, and so that's what we spent pretty much the entire off-season doing. Then I had some early success with the time trials in about April, and so we decided, this has been going well, this is the path to keep going down, so we just kept working through the season, focusing on time trialing. So this was the race to prepare for.
Right. Well, so awesome. So what difference in your strategies and training for this particular time trial rather than, let's see, you were second in the nationals this year, you won the Adibidi. How different was this course than those?
Nationals was very different from any of the other time trials I've done this year. It was just out and back, out and back, out and back. So it's just straight lines with hairpin turns at either end, and there was a hill in it, so you'd be completely spun out going down and have to just glide and tuck as much as you can and then climb coming back up. So that was just a full-on physical time trial, just the strongest guy wins, nothing really technical at all about it. Then Abitibi was probably the most technical time trial I've done, where I was mostly on a bike path and it was very short, it was only about 10 kilometers, so it was just flat out the entire time, and you really had to know the course well because it was obviously only about 2 meters wide for most of it. But I think that was a really strong one for me because it was pretty short and I can put out quite a bit of power for about 10 minutes, so that helped me. And then also I had plenty of time to practice on that course. I had every corner memorized, so I felt really good in the technical part of it, so that was pretty much my race there. That was pretty much set up for me. And then this course was very different from any time trial I've ever done. It was flat just like any of the other ones, but very technical, very wide roads. There was actually some tile sections as well, which was pretty rough. But I think the one thing that kind of hurt me with this course was I didn't really get to see the entire thing. I didn't get to see the first about 11K, which didn't really affect me too much just because it was pretty straight. But then just all the technical parts going through the city was very technical, and so I was trying to make sure I kept it very conservative through the corners, didn't want to lose it, didn't want to push it too hard because I didn't really know how hard I could push through the corners. So
did you think that you'd flat out?
Flatting, there was a little bit of a fear going through second and the third cobble sections. They were very rough and I felt like my teeth were going to get rattled out, so I was a little bit worried about hearing just a bang of flat going, so I was a little bit worried about that, but it didn't slow me down at all that part. It was just kind of taking all those corners. I didn't really know how hard to push them, and I figured if I go a little bit softer in it, maybe I can recover a bit and I'm safe not to crash. So that was one thing.
It sounded like when you went over the finish line, we could hear you out there in the crowd breathing. You left it on the road today.
Yeah, that's one thing I definitely think a positive I can take away from this time trial is that was absolutely everything I had. And as soon as I finished and as soon as I crossed the line, before I talked to anybody, before I heard anything, I just kind of asked myself, could I have pushed any harder? And there was nothing more I could do. I tried to stand up and sprint the last 100 meters, but I couldn't even pick myself up out of my seat at that part because I was just completely dead. But yeah, I think that's definitely a positive I can take away from myself.
Where will we see you next?
I haven't really thought too much about that. I'm off to school in a few days out in British Columbia, and then I don't plan on racing cross or anything. I plan on just getting my schoolwork done over the winter, training over the winter, and then back to racing road in the spring. So I haven't really put too much thought into that. I'll most likely be racing with CHCH, the National Cycling Center, Hamilton again next year because my coach there has been the greatest guy ever as far as getting me here, and so I definitely want to keep working with them.
We look forward to seeing you next springtime.
Yeah,
thank
sure.
you.